Who defines your day? Anybody? You do. There you go. That's right. Not the market, not other people, not your family. You and I are the ones who get up every day and we make the choice to make us, right? We get to define our day. So you guys tell me what's something good you got going on today. Let's hear from you. Somebody tell me something good. Tell me a win you've had. Tell me something you're thankful for. What do you got? Let's go.
I'm closing on my first investment property this week. Let's go.
Tyler, come on now. Y'all give it up for Tyler closing on his first investment. Let's go. Let's go. Who else this morning? What do you got going good? I know Tyler's not the only one who had a win this week. Come on now. I'm listening. PJ, you guys had a huge win this week. Come on now. How many people did y'all put in that room out there in Florida? Oh, here we go. Anthony's got closing on a flip that has been a pain in the rear for 8 months. I'm tracking with you, Anthony. I'm tracking with you. Yeah, let's get it wrapped up. I like it. Yvonne picked up a potential buyer. PJ, what you got? How many people did y'all have in that room?
We had 87. So today I'm grateful for Dusty and Craig, who's also on this call, for Dusty being the moderator, Craig being one of our panelists. It was awesome.
It was awesome, man. It was awesome. Hey, here's what I loved about, so PJ and his partner Jen put together an event out in Melbourne, Florida, which I'm just gonna say this out loud. I don't know why we don't all live there. Okay. Like every time I fly out there and I call my bride and I'm like, girl, what are we doing? Why are we living in Texas where it's like 115 one day and 32 degrees the next day? Let's go to Florida. But they put 87 people in a room from every brokerage. Okay. I mean, we had Sotheby's in there. We had Keller Williams in there. We had Real in there. I mean, we had everybody in there because we're all in this game together. Can I get a yes on that? Right? We're all in this game together. It's collaboration over competition. It's we is bigger than me. That's why we do this call every Monday. So go tell everybody about it. My goal is we end up having 1,000 people on this call. Does that sound good to you guys? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and dig in today. Oh, somebody said go Gators. I don't know. That's Craig. He said go Gators. Anybody want to? Yeah. It's going to get feisty on here, Craig. Going to get feisty on here. We is bigger than me and collaboration over competition until you start talking about the colleges in Florida. Then everything changes. Everything changes. Hey, Lisa, congratulations. Passed the broker licensing exam. Oh, come on now. Y'all give Lisa a big hand. That is huge. Congratulations. Look at this. Brooklyn just left your real estate team of 3 years and you're stepping out on your own. Where you at, Brooklyn? Y'all give Brooklyn a big hand. I remember that day for me. Come on. Congratulations, Brooklyn. Well done. All right. Here's what we're going to do. Everybody write down the theme of the day. You ready? Theme of the day. Here it comes. Okay. Luck is not a strategy. That's your theme of the day. Here we are on St. Patrick's Day. Some of you wearing green. I see you. I know my cousin Sherry got on green. Christy Stewart's got on green. Christy even made a post about her green and she was like, show me your green. Okay. I have not seen my children yet. If I do, they're going to be looking for it. So the theme of the day is luck is not a strategy. All right. Here's what we know. No matter what line of work you're in, no matter how long you've been doing this business, we can't just sit and hope. Another way to put it is hope is not a strategy. Okay. So here's what we're talking about today. It's vitally important. We're talking about what we can control and what we can't control. We're also talking about what we know as opposed to what we feel. Okay. You guys with me on this? There's a difference in those two things. All right. All right. So to get us started, I'll tell you quickly kind of a little bit of where this comes from. And then I want us to work on this together and kind of do an exercise a little bit here together as we get started. So let me ask this before we even dive into this. Let me hear from you. What are some of the challenges we're having right now in the market? What are some of the challenges you're having with yourself? What challenges are out there right now? Let's hear from you. No showings. Yvonne put no showings. How many of you are getting that? You're putting a house on the market and nobody's going over there. You feeling it? Okay. Somebody else. What do we got? Anybody else? Come on. What's happening out there? High interest rates. That's right, Pat. We got people talking about interest rates, right? Okay. Somebody else. What do you got? No wrong answer here. We're all in this game together. Listing inventory growing in your market rapidly, Craig. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, where we were at out in Melbourne with PJ and Jen, their area, they have some parts of their area that is over 12 months inventory. Hello. Do you think that changes the game? Job security fears. Okay. Yvonne just said, wow. How many of you just said, wow, when I said 12 months inventory? Okay. How many of you just felt better about your part of the country? You're like, oh, never mind. Never mind. We're not, right? I feel better about it. People nervous about the economy and their job. All of these things are happening. Hey, let's be honest. Does anybody on the call, by raise of hands, have a little bit of nervousness yourself? How many of you feeling that? Okay. How many of you feeling a little anxious? Anybody got a little anxious in them? Okay. Please tell me I'm not the only one. All right. Yvonne said I had to stop watching the news. Good call, Yvonne. Just turn it off. All right. All right. Well, here's why do you guys understand why this is the theme of the call today? I think if we look at the landscape period of our country, which is where we all do life and business, there's some anxiousness. Yes. There's some fear around things. There's some wondering. There's a lot of unknowns, right? There's, I don't know if you're feeling this, but I'm pretty sure you are. This is the most expensive time I've ever lived in my life. Is anybody else feeling that? Okay. So feeling the pressure, right? This morning, as I was sitting down doing my journaling, I wrote down these words. This is what I said. I said, I feel like I'm in a pressure cooker. Anybody else feel like that? Like, that's just what I feel, man. Inside, I feel like I'm in this pressure cooker and everything's coming in. So here's what I want to talk to you about. Okay. A few weeks before I got married, I had a great mentor of mine sit down with me, and he said, we're going to, and some of you have heard this, but he said, we're going to talk for a few minutes about what it means to do this well. Okay. That's what he said. He said, he said, I want you to go to lunch with me, and we're going to talk about how to do this well. We went to lunch, and I had a little notebook. I was all ready for him to tell me how to be married and how to do it really well. Okay. This guy been married like a long, long time. He's got like 4 beautiful kids, owned business. Like, this guy, he's done something right. Okay. And here's what he did, Tyler. He sat down with me and he said, hey, you're not going to need that piece of paper you got there, because I'm just going to tell you one thing. And I was like, one thing, Natalie, I need to know all the things. Okay. I mean, like, one thing is not going to cut it for me. Okay. He said, no, I'm just going to tell you one thing. He said, here's what I'm going to tell you. He said, there's going to be days you wake up and you don't feel love. And I thought, that's the worst advice anyone has ever given me in their life. Like, why would you say that to me? That is not what you say to somebody who's getting married. But here's what he did. He told me the truth. He said, Dusty, there's going to be days when you're frustrated. There's going to be days when you get angry. He said, there's going to be days when she's on one side of the planet, you're on the other, and you have no idea how to bridge this gap in between the two of you. And let me tell you something, he was right. Okay. Like, I don't know about y'all, but it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Okay. Like, we see everybody on Facebook like, oh, this is beautiful. This is wonderful. You peel that back, like, we got life going on. You tracking with me on this? Okay. Like, y'all see me on screen and everything's like, yeah. Oh, mama gets me when I'm tired. Okay. Mama gets me when I'm frustrated. Okay. But here's what he said. He said, right in the middle of you feeling that way. Okay. Everybody hear me. Right in the middle of I'm anxious. Right in the middle of I'm worried. Right in the middle of I'm frustrated, or I'm angry, or I don't like you very much. Okay. He said, here's what I want you to do. He said, I want you to go on what you know and not on what you feel. Okay, I want you to write that down today. If you don't hear anything else I say today, I want you to write this down. Go on what you know and not on what you feel. Okay. Can I tell you what we do in our humanity most of the time? We go on what we feel. All right. We go on what we feel. I want to challenge you today, encourage you today, in the middle of everything that's going on in our world, in the middle of high interest rates, in the middle of no showings, in the middle of our listing inventory is getting more and more. All of these things, right in the middle of that, in the middle of you feeling anxious or fearful or worried, I want you to go on what you know and not on what you feel, okay? I'm going to change the screen here real quick so I can see you again. I want to hear from you today. What do you know? And here's what I mean by that. What do you know works? Okay. Take everything else, because everything you guys started the call with, let's go through them. Okay. You said high interest rates. Anybody on the call, can you control those? Anybody? Because if you can, I'm going to shut my mouth and you're about to take over the screen. Right? Okay. You can't control that, right? How about listing inventory going up and in inventory like out there in PJ's part of the world being 12 months? Can you control that? Can't control it. Okay. How about no showings? Can you control that? Now, we can play a role in helping it, but I can't control it, right? Okay. So, what do all those things bring up in us? Worry, fear, anxiousness, right? Brings all this up. Now, Tyler, to your point, that's right. The more listings you get, the better control you have of that, correct? Okay, it's a numbers game. But here's what I want to ask you today. Right in the middle of the way we're feeling, what do we know works? You can type it in the chat box or put your hand up or come off mute. I want you to be real specific. What works? Okay, Timothy said consistency. Consistency work. Consistency of what, team? What do we need to be consistent in? Somebody give me some things we need to be consistent in. Relationship building, our daily activities, right? You control your daily activities, right? I love the way Anthony just said this. He just said connecting with humans every day that need to buy or sell, right? Hey, everybody on the call, you need to be spending half your day right now talking to people. All right? Everyone on the screen, you are in the people industry, okay? You can control how many conversations you have. Plan your work and work your plan. That's exactly right, Natalie. We talked a few weeks ago about your time, right? Okay. Can I tell you who is in charge of your time? You are. Okay. You are. That's it. Over Danny Hampton in the Facebook chat, she said, I know I'm not doing everything I can to set the proper expectations for my sellers. Okay, let's pause for a second. If inventory is going up and showings are very low and interest rates are high, do you think there's some conversations we need to have with people on the front end? Okay, we talked about this last week. Okay, if you weren't on the call last week, we talked about framework, how you and I have to set the frame of the conversation and the contents within the frame of the conversation so that we're setting expectations, okay? Communicating with your SOI, consistent lead generation. Oh, Sherry, I love it. Listen to hear and not to answer. Hello. How many of you do that? Okay. I know you real estate agents, you people like to talk. Yeah. We got all the answers. Here's what I can tell you. If you don't understand what their worry is, you can't solve their worry. You with me? I cannot handle an objection that I don't understand. Okay. Being authentic relationships with people. All right. Everything you just said over here are all things that we can control. Okay. What I want you to do is focus on what we know. All right. Here's a few things I want to give you today that I know. All right. I want you to write them down. Here's the first one. You are where you are because of how you think. I know that. I know that. Like, I'm not guessing on that. Okay. If you feel down today, now I'm not saying that there aren't circumstances around it. I'm just saying who controls the way that you think, the circumstance or you? Okay. I'll tell you right now, you and I don't get to pick every circumstance. Am I right? So when we don't get to pick every circumstance, what do we get to pick? How we respond to the circumstance. That's the second thing I want you to write down. I don't get to pick the circumstance, but I do get to pick how I respond. That's what I know. Okay. You with me? I'm not guessing on that. That's what I know. Few more things that we know. Okay. When you get up, okay, and you get ready for the day, and what I mean by that, I don't just mean like take a shower and put your clothes on and get all fancy. That's part of it. I mean get ready for the day before the day even starts. Okay. Every Monday morning, I have a 6 a.m. call with a group of men. Do you know why I have that call? Because I know Dusty left to Dusty, and I know how I think on my own. And I know when I have other people pouring into me and I have accountability around me, my thinking goes from here to here. Right? Yvonne, you said that right. My energy goes up. My accountability goes up. The way I think changes, right? I got to hear from other people to encourage me, pour into me. Are you with me on this? And so the way that we think, that's what we know. Okay, write this down too. I know this. You make the choice and the choice makes you. I know that. Okay, I coach my kids on this, right? Right? My kids every morning, they know it's I choose to make good choices today because the choices I make me. That's what I know. Okay. So I want to challenge you today and ask you a question. What choices are you making? Okay. What choices are you making? Okay. If you are sitting in worry and anxiety, that is a choice. Okay. If you're sitting in fear, that's a choice. All right. You with me on this? Now, I know this too. Everybody write this down. Okay. I don't always get to choose my first thought, but I do get to choose my second. I don't always get to choose my first thought, but I do get to choose my second. Okay. You with me? All right. I mean, you've had fear just come over you before, right? Anybody? Like it just hits. Okay. Anxiety just hits, right? Okay. I don't always get to pick that, but I do get to pick what I do with it. I do get to pick my second thought, and my second thought can be different than my first thought. Okay. Here's what else I know. When I go to work, it works. Okay. I'm going to say that again. When I go to work, it works. All right. I have never been around a group of people more than real estate agents that waste so much time. It is absurd, but we call it being busy. That's what we call it. Yeah, we're busy. We're just super busy. No, you're not. Okay. Now, I mean, you may be busy, but you're not productive. Okay. So like I found out my first year in real estate, this is the easiest business to feel super busy and accomplish absolutely nothing. Okay. When you go to work, it works. Okay. Now, let me tell you how I know that. I get the gift and honor to coach a lot of you on this screen. And let me, I'll brag on some of you. Okay. I'm going to start with PJ because they just did this big event. Hey, PJ, over the course of the last 60 days, has your world changed a little bit based on the work that you've put in? Right? Give them just one example of what's happened like in the last 60 days for you.
We went from a negative number that I'm not going to share on here because I don't even want to talk about it to a complete 180 in the other direction.
Yeah. Just, and let me tell you guys, like I watched PJ and Jen, like they just went to work, man. They started doing what they knew, right? Right? Like, hey, we know when we do these activities and we do these activities at this level, right? That they work. That's what they did, right? You guys heard last week, Janet came on, started the whole call and said, hey, our whole team has just done what, Janet? What was y'all's number last week? Like 25 million or something? I think Janet may be frozen. Okay. What was it, Christy?
23
23
million.
Like, it's March. It's March. In a market where people are challenged. You guys tracking with me on this? Why? Because when you go to work, it works. Okay. So here's the other thing I want to tell you. Okay. Here's what I know. All right. And I say it, I think, on every call. Here's what it is. Just because it's not working doesn't mean it's not working. Okay. Like, don't fall for the lie that it's not working. Well, like, hey, I talked to 100 people this week. Nobody said, yes, that doesn't work. Yes, it does. You just have to be consistent with it. Okay. Well, I sent out a mailer. I did it for 2 months in a row. Nobody called. It doesn't work. Yes, it does. Okay. Hey, I'm posting every day on social media and nobody said anything yet. And I don't have any more followers and nobody's watching. Yes, they are. Yes, it does. In fact, today more than ever. Okay. You guys with me on this? All right. Here's what I want you to do real quick before we get off the call. Left side of the page, I want you to write down everything you cannot control right now in your life and in your business. Okay. It's not just your business, it's your life too. I like that. Just because it hasn't worked yet doesn't mean it's not working. There you go, Mariah. So on the left side, I just want you to write down everything that you cannot control. All the things maybe that are out of whack, that are completely out of your control in your life and in your business. And then on the right side of the page, I just want you to write down what you can. Left side, what you can't. Right side, what you can. Yeah. And some more examples would be other people, right, Wendy? I can't control other people. Okay. Look at that. PJ, 1,700 dials to 83 conversations to 1 appointment. Are you willing to make 1,700 calls? How about that? That's called going to work. That's the, hey, everybody hear me? Like, if you want to change something, then you have to change something. Okay. You can write that down too. If you want to change something, then you have to change something. Nothing changes till something moves. What are you willing to do to go make the changes? That's what you can control. Everything you just wrote down on the left side of the page, you can do nothing about. What you can do about is everything you put on the right side, which this is what I can control. And here's what I've found when I do this exercise is everything on the right side of the page trumps everything on the left side. You with me? No matter what I wrote down on the left, whatever I put on the right, it trumps everything on the left. I've got an answer to everything that I wrote down on the left. Okay. Sherry wrote down, I can control my work ethic, not the work ethic of others, right? Draw the circle around me. I can control everything inside of it. I want you to do this exercise too. Would you write down what you feel on the left side of the page? What are you feeling right now today as you got on this call? I trust you're already feeling different, but what are those feelings? I want you to get honest about your feelings. What are you feeling? Be specific on it. Okay. If you're anxious, like, write down why you're anxious. Like, don't just say, man, I'm anxious. Why are you anxious? Where's it coming from? What are you feeling? And you may not even have an answer. It may be like, coach, I'm anxious everywhere. Like I told you, I wrote down this morning, I feel like I'm in a pressure cooker. Okay. And then after you've written down everything you feel on the left side, on the right side, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down what you know that will trump what you feel. You with me? Every time I focus on what I know instead of what I feel, I move forward. Every time I focus on what I feel, I dig in deeper to the quicksand that I'm in. Are you with me on this? Okay. Like, we've got to go on what we know. And PJ just wrote it down over there. Hey, here's what we know. It's going to take more calls. It's going to take more conversations, right? What brought you here isn't going to keep you here. So my final question to you is, what adjustments do you need to make today, right now, to make sure that you go get what you want? in your life and your business? What adjustments do you need to make right now today so you go get what you know, like what you want in your life and your business? Okay. My buddy Craig gave this to me earlier today. And it says this, it says, number one, admit your need. Number two, ask for help. Right? Okay. How do we go? Start with small steps. Take one step forward. Let me hear from you real quick today. What'd you get on the call that you're going to take with you today? Come on. Give me 3. What are you taking with you? I can do this all over again. Anybody? Things
Good,
I can
Dusty.
change. That's right. Focus on what you can't control. Ryan, go for it, buddy.
Just make those calls, man. Just got to be in contact with my people
That's right. That's right. Over and over and over again.
over
Right.
and over.
Yep. Get accountability around you. Ryan Guillen, you nailed it. The right side trumps the left side. Okay. What I know trumps what I feel. Okay. You with me? Every single one of you, you are where you are because of how you think. I get to control my thoughts. Luck is not a strategy. All right. Here's what I want to ask you to do as you leave the call today. I want you to pick one thing in the next hour you can do that's going to change the way that you feel. What's one thing you can do in the next hour that's going to change the way that you feel? Okay. And put that into action. Right? Okay. Go tell everybody you know to be on this call next week. There's never been a more important call, a more important time than for you to be on this call right now, okay, in the world that we're living in. So get on here, tell everybody about it. We also have a call every Thursday that's all on lead generation and lead conversion and tactics. Don't miss that. It's every Thursday at 10:30 Central. And I love you. Bless you guys. Take care. Bye-bye. We'll see you next week. Go to work. When you go to work, it works. I love you, cousin Sherry. See y'all later. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dusty.
Thank you, guys.